Well, now to a new video game that has many politicians saying it's going too far. Pipe Troubles challenges players to build oil pipelines, managing all the costs, but it also allows you to blow up some pipelines. The game was paid for by Ontario taxpayers. The CBC's Dan Burritt has more.
It looks like Farmville, but the online game Pipe Trouble is a little more serious. It lets you build pipelines while balancing costs, potentially angry farmers, and environmentalists. It was paid for by Ontario taxpayers and posted on the website of the province's public broadcaster, TVO. But it's the bombing of the imaginary pipeline that has some very concerned and prompted TVO to remove the game from its website and start a review, although you can still play it elsewhere. TVO called the game a companion to a documentary about local opposition to pipelines and the bombing of them in northeastern BC. It comes as hearings on the proposed Northern Gateway pipeline continue. Ontario Premier Kathleen Wynne says she's now looking into the whole video game matter. Meanwhile, Alberta Premier Alison Redford says she's disappointed a taxpayer-funded video game depicts the bombing of pipelines. And BC Premier Christy Clark says there is no place for positions that advocate violence. The game developer has said a portion of any proceeds would go to the David Suzuki Foundation.
I think the beauty of the video game medium is you're able to make these complex cause-effect relationships inherent through the gameplay.
One of BC's top federal ministers is not thrilled with the donation idea.
I think that angle of the David Suzuki Foundation actually collecting a financial benefit from those who want to play games that depict violence against people who work in our natural resource sector, I think it probably goes a little bit too far, and I think probably tests the boundary of good taste.
But the head of the foundation says they haven't received any money from the game yet and won't accept any until they look more closely at it.
And I would hope that everybody involved with this would sort of step back for a moment and say, well, wait a minute here, what is the real issue that we're trying to look at, and how could we have a better dialogue so that we don't end up in these types of controversies each time they happen?
Dan Burritt, CBC News, Vancouver.